My spouse is blaming their affair on me. That's our topic today, and I want to get into this. I've helped thousands of couples who've experienced infidelity over the last 35 years. So I want to help you with kind of parsing this out so that you can have a dialogue with your spouse about it. Now, if you have yet to subscribe to our channel, please do click the button. If there's a question box under there, if you have a question, put it in there for us to get back to you. And we always want to see you get well, and because betrayal and infidelity is traumatic for the spouse and it's traumatic for the marriage. But if they're blaming you, I want to parse that into two different conversations. Number one, the decision and the behavior to have an affair. The decision to have an affair is 100% the person who had the affair's responsibility and their decision. They are 100% responsible for that. Okay? The behaviors in their affair, the innuendos, the building up to a relationship or paying a prostitute or whatever they did, took a series of behaviors that you are not in any way responsible for. Most likely they did it in secret. They didn't come home and say, hey, I'm flirting with the secretary. Hey, I'm flirting with the girl at work. Or hey, I'm flirting with this girl online. And what do you think about this conversation? They didn't do that. It was all in secret, and they are responsible for the secrecy. They are responsible for the decisions and all the micro decisions that led up to an ongoing affair. They're responsible for their emotions towards the other person because of the disciplines and reinforcement schedule they gave that person. They're responsible for the priority they gave that person, okay? They're responsible for everything that's a decision, okay? Now, they might be saying they were in pain, and that's possible. But if they were in pain, counseling is another decision. Talking to you about it is another decision, okay? Separating is another decision, okay? Divorcing is even another decision, okay? Now, what is possible is that their pain that they're talking about may or may not be legitimate. They may be blaming you because they can't be bad. They don't want to take full responsibility for the affair, and that is totally an immature way to doing that. The healthier marriages that I've seen repair after infidelity is, I am 100% responsible. I did this to me. You are not to blame. It's not about your sex. It's not about you not being enough. It's about me being an idiot. That marriage usually heals a lot quicker than fix my spouse because they made me have an affair. Now, could there be pain in the marriage? Yes. All marriages, some pain, some challenges, okay, but that doesn't excuse someone having an affair. But if you're going to repair the marriage, you may need to look at those factors. Okay, if they're complaining about not being touched or not feeling like sex is consistent enough, or if they're not feeling heard, or whatever the issues are, you want to deal with those issues in counseling, okay? Now, if there is something called intimacy anorexia, which is the kind of the active withholding of spiritual, emotional, sexual intimacy, then that is a problem that needs to be addressed, but it still doesn't cause someone to have an affair. But let me just go down that trail for a minute. If you're an intimacy anorexic, they feel that you're too busy for them with either work and volunteering, the kids or something. You blame them for all the problems in the relationship. You withhold love from them, withhold praise from them, withhold spiritually, withhold sex, or you're disconnected during sex, whether you're just kind of just being there or you're in a fantasy world, okay? They also are unwilling to share their feelings. They limit, they use anger or silence as a way to control in the relationship. Sometimes they control around money, but the other spouse has been consistently talking about feeling married and alone. I don't feel wanted. I don't feel important. I don't feel valued. I feel like I'm a roommate. And if those are kind of the pain that they were in, and you heard that for years and you didn't take any responsibility for the pain, well, that you can do without taking any responsibility for the choice. If the marriage is going to repair and the marriage has pain, regardless if it's intimacy anorexia, alcoholism, drug addiction, pornography addiction, whatever it is, okay, and it could be on the person who had the affair side as well, where they're just as guilty of multiple issues, okay? But these issues need to be addressed. And it's okay to validate their pain, saying, you know what, if you were in pain in marriage, I can take responsibility for the pain. If you felt alone, I can take responsibility because maybe that's true or not true. If it is true, you can take responsibility for it. Don't take responsibility for something that's absolutely not true, okay? Because people who are choosing to have affairs have to get into an immature place to justify all their behaviors. And so you may be falsely accused, but if you evaluate it and there's some truth to the pain, it's okay to accept responsibility for the pain without accepting any responsibility for the choice that they made, okay? Because if they're in pain, you're probably in pain and you didn't have an affair, okay? And people respond to pain differently based on their dysfunction or their choices or their addictions. And if that person had a sexual addiction or porn addiction, they'd be highly vulnerable to going down the road of affairs, okay? And if they have a sexual addiction, they want to get that treated before you start reconciling everything, because if they don't, the addiction will take them back to that, not you. So if your spouse is blaming you for the affair, that's totally illegitimate. If they want to be heard about pain, you should weigh that and consider that. And if there's any responsibility, take that. But take no responsibility for them having an ongoing emotional relationship, sexual relationship with someone they put a lot of time and energy in creating in a secret world. That is not on you. Now, if you have experienced infidelity, you have experienced trauma, whether you're a man or a woman. Our research shows PTSD symptoms, depression, lower self-esteem, and so much more. The marriage needs help, you need help, and the affair person needs help. Here at Heart to Heart Counseling Center, we specialize in all three. So please, you can come do an intensive here in Colorado Springs. You can do phone counseling. You can get help. You can get in support groups for various different types of things, and you will be heard, okay? And if you are the person who was cheated on, we will not blame you. We don't do that. That is 100% the person's responsibility. So I hope this is helpful for you to kind of parse through this. And again, if you need help, call our office. We would love to help you and help you on this journey. We've helped thousands recover from infidelity. So if both people are willing, it is possible.